There is great debate going on all across the world, whether it's media or on the street between commoner, who really won the war in Afghanistan. Was it US? No, it was not US or NATO. Taliban. Not the real winners, as they had to sacrifice thousands of their warriors, faced jails inside and out of Afghanistan, lost their loved ones, properties were destroyed, and in the end they reclaimed their own land. Sounds good, but still there is something under the hood we are not reaching to it. Let's roll on and see if it's China, Russia, Pakistan, or Iran. Mostly say, they are but not the real winners, especially Pakistan, where there was a spillover effect of this war and they lost 80,000 people including 10,000 forces personnel, while US forces incurred loss of 2,400 soldiers. Chinese may be considered the winners, as Afghanistan is now available for their investments and future business, but there is some more to know yet. Dear viewers, before moving ahead, if you are new to our channel, please do not forget to subscribe our channel and to comment in the comment section below. Thanks. Many of us would go wrong. Apparently there are no details available to commoners like us. What happened inside those offices where the war was planned? If any of us remember, there was a term, frequently used when US was pushed into these unnecessary wars, that was, the warmongers. Dear viewers, do remember this term. So you come to know who are behind these unjust wars, which are just planned to drain the money out of taxpayers to land in the accounts of few corporates. Let's listen to what Julian Assange say about war in Afghanistan.
Because the goal is not to completely subjugate Afghanistan. The goal is to use Afghanistan to wash money out of the tax bases of the United States, out of the tax bases of European countries, through Afghanistan and back into the hands of a transnational security elite. That is the goal, i.e. the goal is to have an endless war.
Just an easy tip to solve the riddle is to follow and find where the money is going, whether it's a political scandal, a stock market crash or upsurge, or even a war, as we are talking about. Follow the money and you will find the culprit. So, how much is the amount we are talking about? If we go back to Brown University stats, which we had presented to our viewers in a previous vlog with the name of Biggest Loser of Afghan War. According to Brown University estimates, the US spent $2.26 trillion in Afghanistan, or $300 million a day. Roughly $800 billion was funneled into direct war fighting costs, and additionally $85 billion to train the now vanquished Afghan army. $2.313 trillion in 20 years, could be translated as $12.5 million per hour, $200,000 per minute approximately, and $3,334 per second. Around these $2.313 trillion, that's how much US spent in Afghanistan, in other words $300 million a day. According to the Watson Institute, Brown University projected that the cost of interest on the United States Afghan war debt will go up to $6.5 trillion by 2050. And that will cost the average American, since that eventually comes to $20,000 for each and every US citizen. 90% of the Afghans live under the poverty line, on less than $2 a day. So this money has not been spent in Afghanistan, certainly. Secondly, the part of money which was spent inside Afghanistan, most of that money went into corruption of Ghani's government. One of the reason, many of the Afghans were happy with fall of Ghani government. So where did all this money go? The fact is, most of this money went back to the US, rather have not come to Afghanistan. The question is how? The answer is through defense companies and contractors. Yes, dear viewers, we are presenting you the facts from a report published by Intercept. The report highlights some facts what the top 5 US defense contractors got from this 20 years long war, which probably they never have wanted to end. Yes, the same famous Boeing, Lockheed Martin, Raytheon, General Dynamics, and Northrop Grumman. American government basically outsources the war. Same was done with Iraq and Afghan war. They were funding it, but most of the work was being done by private companies. American private companies do everything. They supply all the military hardware and the services required to the U.S. forces. They trained Afghan soldiers as well. All this was done by paying a hefty amount. The money spent never left America. It was transferred to U.S. companies. If we have a look at the top 5 military contractors: Lockheed Martin, Raytheon, General Dynamics, Boeing and Northrop Grumman, between 2001 and 2021 these companies earned $2.02 trillion out of public funding. $2.02 trillion. Where did this money go? Into Afghanistan, Iraq, Syria, and many other feudal wars. Yes, American soldiers and nation lost the Afghan war, but American businessmen had a more than of their share and had a splendid victory. Let's go back to September 18, 2001, just 7 days after 9/11. Assume someone bought $10,000 worth of stock from America's top 5 military contractors. I repeat again, $10,000 in 2001. What do you think? What's the worth of that stock today? Today it's almost 100,000, 10 times more than 2001. While if other stocks have only given you $60,000, but defense companies were a different deal altogether. Just imagine the profits. It tells all why the war was kept dragging on and on. 20 years of forever war also means forever profits. The Pentagon keeps boasting about how they built up the Afghan army. Well, here's the truth. The Pentagon flooded Afghanistan with American technology. Afghan soldiers carried American rifles, they drove American trucks, they flew American aircraft. All of these were bought from the U.S. defense contractors, so the money never leave America's borders. Most of the critic in US as well as many in Europe say, it's a massive nexus between arms dealers, politicians and the White House. Many whistleblowers at home and out of US had flagged this nexus. The games did not remain limited to defense contractors. Big corporations such as DynCorp International, KBR and Fluor Corporation have also made a hell of big fortune out of this war. In addition, oil companies like ExxonMobil, which ship the fuel on which the army runs, are just some to have profited immensely from Washington's lucrative contracts. For these corporates, this war must have gone to another 20 years. On the other hand, many in the nation suffered due to massive unemployment. Many of the Americans are facing eviction and are forced to live inside their cars parked in some parking lot, and many inside a small tent on the sidewalks. Today we see miles-long skid rows in almost all the big cities of United States. No corporate is worried about the American dream, which we see is dying day by day. Thanks for watching. Looking forward for your feedback in the comment section below. We will be back soon with another interesting vlog.